Breaking news. The Russian Orthodox Church is fading away in Ukraine. Ukrainian churches are defecting from the Russian Orthodox Church in increasing numbers. In the occupied territories, however, a different trend is evident. More and more dioceses are leaving the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, UOC, which is in communion with the Moscow Patriarchate, MP, in favor of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, OCU. As of this past week, 10 Ukrainian churches had made the decision to affiliate with this autonomous church. 10 churches had also abandoned Moscow the week prior. Typically, the congregation made the decision to take this action. The Religious Information Service of Ukraine describes the process by which such resolutions are reached through congregational voting. By doing this, a large majority of people have decided to leave the Russian sphere of influence. There has been an independent Ukrainian Orthodox Church since 2018. The need to break free from Moscow's influence had been building for some time. However, due to a schism, that process has sped up in 2018. Invasion of Ukraine by Russia in 2022 also helped. Many believers were offended by Patriarch Kirill of Moscow's support for the invasion. Several times during the conflict, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, Rock, publicly defended the fighting. He claims that the sacrifices made by Russian soldiers in battle will be enough to atone for their sins. Because of these statements, Kirill has become a divisive figure across the globe. Kirill was again denied entry to Estonia just last week. Patriarch Kirill is one of the greatest adherents and proponents of Putin's ideology, Foreign Minister Margus Sakna said in a press release. Timely banishment from society was warranted. He has provided moral cover for the invasion of Ukraine. There is a turnabout in motion in Ukraine's occupied territories. In Ukraine, Russian authorities are merging Ukrainian Orthodox dioceses with the Russian Orthodox Church. That's the word from the War Studies Group. Occupants' actions demonstrate the integral connection and close relationship of the Russian Orthodox Church with the Russian state, the influential think tank writes. Former President Trump is the first sitting head of state to be indicted by a federal grand jury. Due to ongoing investigations into his involvement in Georgia and the insurrection, Donald Trump is likely to face additional indictments. The Department of Justice has issued 37 indictments related to this case. 31 of them involve concealing national defense information. 5 involve conspiracy to obstruct justice and concealing documents and records, and 2 involve lying about being in possession of the documents at issue. Many of his supporters, including House Speaker McCarthy, are outraged and calling this a dark day. The issue of indicting the frontrunner, as McCarthy put it, goes to the core of equal justice for all, and he promised that the House will hold this brazen weaponization of power accountable. In fact, the very idea of equal justice for all would be diminished if Mr. Trump were not indicted for such egregious and illegal behavior. The fact that he has already announced his intention to run for the Republican nomination makes no difference. A presidential run is no excuse for criminal behavior. McCarthy and other Republican leaders claim that indictments against Mike Pence and John Biden are unjustified. What sets Biden and Pence apart is that they both offered apologies, worked together, and didn't lie about the situation. Trump has never expressed regret. He flat out lied and evaded questions about whether or not he had the paperwork. Although he never went through the proper channels, he claimed he had declassified them. After all, Trump admitted to a public audience that he could have declassified them, but now I can't, but this is still a secret. The FBI raided Mar-a-Lago and removed dozens of additional boxes containing classified information after he lied and turned over boxes of classified and top-secret documents. Trump hid a lot of secret, top-secret, and confidential paperwork. A ballroom, his bedroom, his office, and a storage room at his Florida club and residence were all named in the indictment as locations where the items were kept. The tens of thousands of people who frequented these locations, as well as the groups and a writer he showed some of these documents to, were highlighted in the indictment. His words to the author, "This is secret information," are included in the text. Check this out. Such foolishness should be a deal-breaker for anyone seeking public office, but it isn't. Independent voters and many traditional conservative Republicans, whose votes he needs to win in 2024, will abandon him in greater numbers. What he took and demonstrated is very concerning. Data on U.S. and international defense and weaponry, nuclear programs, the susceptibility of the United States and its allies to military attack, and contingency plans for such an attack were among the documents leaked. The former president's motivations are unknown. He has been accused of being too conceited, of thinking that the law does not apply to him because he is the Donald. We could say he has a huge ego that needs constant reassurance. Look at me, I'm so important because of what I have. Both hypotheses may have some truth to them, I think. However, there is a different explanation that cannot be disregarded. Almost all of Donald Trump's actions are motivated by a desire to amass wealth. Perhaps he was hoping to confide in his old friend Vladimir Putin. It's more likely that he wanted to help out his Saudi pals, from whom he's stolen millions. The Saudis' sworn enemy, Iran, was the subject of some of the documents, which detailed Iran's military and nuclear capabilities. Trump is within his rights to seek election, but his serious crimes should discourage educated voters.